Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the BoomBoom Gacha before we get into the rest of today's content. So I really couldn't find when was the last time I actually uploaded content relating to this, but the rewards are so much better right now. So as you can see from this 7 pool itself, what we can obtain is 2 SSMs, 2 gold records, 300 Nexus crystals, a bunch of other stuff, and especially the shipment record as well. So there is about 2,300 Nexus crystals worth of rewards in just one of these resets. So the game is definitely becoming a little bit more free-to-play friendly, or at least a little bit more generous in the sense of like just these rewards, right? So that's pretty cool. I got myself my first SSM. Anyway, that's about it that I wanted to talk about for BoomBoom Gacha. Let's take a look at the theme show or the Desperado event, and let's take a look at the new boss battle over here. So I hear that some of you guys have some issues pertaining to the fact that there is a tricky on the other side and that they are a little bit fast. So let's figure out what are some free-to-play options for you so that you can at least participate in the hardest difficulty that you can with the least effort required. So I'm gonna be doing difficulty 10, but if you're really hard stuck at like difficulty 8 or 9 or even like 5, all is okay. You can just follow the same strategies and it will still work for you, just that your payout will not be as good as difficulty 10. So if you do not know who Blair is, they have already uploaded a video pertaining to a free-to-play team. So I'm not going to actually cover the same team. I'm going to do something else a little bit different. But before we get into the free-to-play team, let's talk a little bit more about my pay-to-win team. So this is extremely pay-to-win. Let me just go through the stats real quick. So Longmian, I have not actually changed his stats for like the longest period of time, except maybe his 2Ps at the end. And these are the stats of Gaius. These are the stats of Zora. These are the stats of Ashley, who is also max skilled. Okay, do take note that in order for this team to work, she needs to be max skilled. Same goes for Gaius as well. And my Anki Chai stats are over here. So let's take a look at how this team works. I haven't really played around too much with like pay-to-win comps. I found that this team was just so strong and so efficient that I just didn't care too much about testing other teams. Okay, we start with a freeze here, and we get an attack buff, and that allows us to reduce the cooldown of both Longmian and Ashley because of Anki Chai, right? And then we nuke the entire first wave, and then moving on to the second wave. Same thing, we freeze again. We stun, right? And then Ashley is going to attack buff afterwards, which is pretty cool. I mean, it isn't like perfect synergy here. Obviously, if you use a 3-turn cooldown Esper like Suhua, she's going to be a little bit more efficient in attack buffs. Yeah, it's not like fully efficient or anything like that, but you know, it's fast, it's furious, Lemao. So there you go, that's the pay-to-win team. So 36 seconds. I find that this boss is a lot easier for the fact that the enemies just have so much lower HP. But anyway, let's take a look at the more free-to-play team out there. Well, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have already seen this coming. So it's gonna be a Longmian and the twins, Suhua, and then Anki Chai. I think this is probably quite efficient as well. So Longmian with like the same stats as previously. Here is the black twin who has a attack kit with a decent speed as well. So do take note that the twins have to be faster than Anki Chai. To be honest, Anki Chai is the slowest Esper on this lineup. And I know some of you guys might actually recognize this team because I've actually showcased the exact same team before. And there you go. So these are the stats for the free-to-play team. Let's just take a look at how this works. So we're gonna start with a freeze, and then we're gonna throw a lot of AoE and all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, we start with attack buff first. But what you will realize is that Anki Chai is very relevant here because he's going to cooldown reset everyone. Like everyone has already used their skills, right? So he's going to be more effective than like in the previous pay-to-win team. Well, obviously this team is going to be a lot slower, like painfully slower. And yeah, there you go. So obviously there are like faster options, like using Jiangman, which Blair has already covered. But I still feel like this rotation is super fun. Like just using Anki Chai with like all these low cooldown Espers. It's super fun, right? And obviously it's a little bit RNG reliant. We need to make sure that we land our freezes and all that. But for the most part, it's quite consistent. Or maybe because it's just my relics. I don't know. But it has been quite effective for me. So I just tested a few teams and a lot of teams work. It's just that which is like, you know, most fun, I guess. And this team is not bad. So as you can see, they are just stun locked and they are just frozen all the time, which is really cool. Obviously, if you have Espers like a Nessidora, she's going to be more efficient because she helps out a lot with like the damage as well. And there you go, 1 minute 21 seconds. It's quite slow, but I guess it's very safe. So many teams work. So let's say I just replace the white twin with Jiangman here. This is still going to function really well. And in fact, I think it could even be a little bit stronger as well. Let's see. So we start with the freeze, we get a defense break, which is not really that important. We get a cooldown reset here, and we throw the Nether Bloom effects. she's built a little bit slower right now. Like I made my Jiangman a lot slower. So previously my Jiangman had about 200 speed, but now she's like super slow. But that's just to speed tune for Shadow Fire, which is basically where I use her right now. And there you go. So the first wave is really done just like that. Attack buff comes up. So this is at least a little bit more, I would guess, consistent with what our objective is, which is to buff up at the start of every turn. Which is not something that we observed in the previous team because we were just trying to throw out our skills as much as possible. Whoa-oh. Okay, so the tricky was not controlled as much as I would like. When you're using espers that control the enemy team, you need to always be concerned about whether you even land the controls in the first place. So your accuracy needs to be at 80% minimally all the time, except for Jiangman. Jiangman don't really need accuracy. So 1 minute 9 seconds, which is a little bit faster, but that's because we are using Jiangman here, who is a beast. But I think some of the problems that you guys are facing is that the enemy's lineup is a little bit faster. So let's actually figure out how fast they truly are. I'm going to remove my Longmian over here for a sec. And don't mind me, but I'm just going to bring in my Abigail just to clear out the first wave a little bit faster. Because the first wave is not so much of the problem, it's the second wave. So take note that my Suhua is the fastest Esper here with 260 speed. Alright, so now we are on the second wave. And as you can see here, their Kara is moving next. So let's see what her speed is. Even though it's not such a big deal to be worried about her speed, but because she has 80% the current AP of my Suhua, who is at 260, therefore the Kara is actually at 208 speed. Now, next in that lineup that we need to worry about is definitely going to be Li Guang. I think this is probably like the only Esper that you need to worry about, because as long as she moves, right, that's it, the entire enemy lineup is going to move. So we need to outspeed the Li Guang at least. So going by this AP, Li Guang has about 198 speed, which means that the Espers that you bring in here, or at least your AP pusher, if you're using an AP pusher at least, right, your AP pusher needs to be above 198 speed after including the speed lead. And in most cases, your speed lead is going to give you about 20 to 25 speed. So you got to make sure that you are somewhere at least 180 speed and you're definitely in the clear. And that's about it, right? So just pay attention to your minimum speed. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. I hope this helped you in any way, shape or form. If I actually helped one person, I will be happy about it as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to click a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Oh my god, we are gonna lose, aren't we?